Okay, let's think about this. How much do you truly trust the digital spaces you're in every single day? I mean, those apps right there on your phone, the ones asking for your camera, your mic, maybe even tracking where you are. Well, for millions of people, one really popular avatar app suddenly became the focus of that exact fear. Terrifyingly so. Today, we're going to unpack the whole unsettling story around Zepeto. We'll dive into these really alarming claims that the app was secretly recording people, tracking their movements, even using cameras without saying anything. We're digging into the panic, the fear that just exploded online, and figure out what was actually going on. The goal here is really just to cut through all that noise and find out what really happened. So Zepeto, let's start there. This wasn't, just some random game. It was huge. A whole 3D world where millions made these little avatar versions of themselves. We're talking like over 10 million downloads. It was one of the top free apps for a while. People were designing virtual selves, building digital homes, connecting online. It all seemed pretty innocent, fun. But then it felt like it happened almost overnight. This fun, creative app suddenly felt, really dreadful for a lot of users. These claims started popping up everywhere, that Zepeto was secretly recording them, tracking locations, hijacking cameras. Some people even claimed it was like a virus from the deep web.
Which sounds immediately scarier, right? Even if people don't fully understand what the deep web actually is.
Exactly. It adds this layer of unknown danger. And these rumors, they weren't just whispers. They were all over Twitter, flooding the app reviews. You'd see comments, things like, delete Zepeto now. It's tracking you. It's connected to the deep web. It's listening.
Wow.
Yeah. And others saying, turn your volume way up. Listen to the top speaker like you're on a call. You'll hear a deadline. People were genuinely frightened.
And what's really interesting, or maybe worrying, is how the app's normal functions kind of fed into those fears. Like when you first download Zepeto, it does ask for permissions, the standard stuff.
Right. Camera, microphone.
Exactly. Camera, microphone, access to media files. Totally normal for an app where you make videos or customize things with photos.
Yeah.
But that initial request, combined with all this sudden online panic, well, it became a huge point of concern. It definitely amplified the paranoia.
And the big thing, the proof for so many people, was this so-called static sound. Users were absolutely convinced that if they held their phone up to their ear while Zepeto was running, they'd hear static, or like a deadline sound.
Yeah.
Some even said, they thought they heard something breathing. That really kicked the panic into high gear, didn't it?
It absolutely did. That was the tangible evidence people latched onto. But this is where things get a bit clearer when you look closer. Some outlets, like popbuzz.com, actually investigated this static sound. And you know what they found?
What?
Other apps did it too. They tested a bunch of different apps, and similar sounds popped up. It suggests it might just be, a normal phone thing. Maybe the audio components activating briefly when an app with mic permissions is open.
Huh. So, not specific to Zepeto at all.
Seems like it. Probably just a normal artifact of how phones work with apps that might need audio. So the static was likely, nothing sinister.
Okay, so static is likely out. But what about the tracking? That was a huge part of the fear.
Right. And that's another key point. While Zepeto did ask for camera and microphone access, it critically did not ask for GPS or location permissions.
So the claim it was tracking your physical location just doesn't line up with the permissions it actually requested.
Exactly. That specific rumor didn't match the app's actual behavior or requests. So, yeah, static debunked, location tracking permissions weren't requested. That makes you wonder, where did these terrifying rumors even start? The research points towards maybe a joke, or something that started small, maybe in like a private chat, and then just exploded into the public. But the really weird part is there's no solid proof. No screenshots, no links pointing back to whoever first said it. They just sort of materialized online and spread like crazy.
And you have to remember the timing, right?
Yeah.
This Zepeto panic wasn't happening in a vacuum. There were other real tech security scares going on around then that probably made people extra jumpy.
Oh, definitely. Context is key here.
Yeah, remember Adware Doctor?
Yeah.
That app in the Mac App Store. Promised security, but was actually caught stealing people's browsing history.
I remember that one. Nasty.
Right. And then Apple had that massive issue with malware getting into hundreds of legit apps. Stuff targeting social media, streaming, even banking apps.
Yeah, that was bad. So people were already kind of primed to be suspicious of apps, even popular ones.
Exactly. The general distrust was already simmering.
And then add this detail, which is almost funny if it wasn't part of such a scary situation. A simple typo. A lot of people were mistakenly calling the app Zepto instead of Zepeto, Zepto.
Zepto. Okay. Why does that matter?
Well, because Zepto is the actual name of a known type of ransomware.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, ransomware, that nasty software that locks your files and demands money. It had been around for a bit, often spread through infected email attachments. So when people saw Zepto being discussed alongside scary warnings, they likely conflated the two.
So they thought Zepeto, the avatar app, was actually Zepto, the ransomware.
It seems incredibly likely that this misidentification seriously fueled the Zepeto as a virus rumor. It just connected the dots in a terrifying, but ultimately incorrect way. It really shows how, confirmation bias works. People were scared, they saw something that looked like a threat, and the typo helped them confirm their fears, even though it was based on a mistake.
Okay, so rumors are flying, people are deleting the app in droves. But if Zepeto wasn't this malicious thing, who actually made it? Was it some, anonymous group working in the shadows?
Yeah, that's often the assumption, isn't it? That anything causing panic must come from somewhere shady. But the reality with Zepeto is, pretty mundane, actually. The company behind it is called Snow Corporation.
Snow Corporation?
Yeah.
Okay, still sounds a little bit like a movie villain's company.
Maybe a little. But their parent organization is Neva.
Never. A huge Korean tech company.
That's the one. Massive, legitimate company. They're also behind other really popular apps like the Line Chat app and Snow, which is kind of like Snapchat.
Okay, so definitely not some shadowy unknown entity. This was a major established player.
Exactly. Not some mysterious coder in a basement, but a big, well-known tech corporation.
So faced with this massive panic, the company had to say something, right? Did they issue a statement?
They did. Snow Corporation put out an official statement to address the fears directly.
And what did they say? Was it just corporate speak, or did they actually deny it point blank?
It was pretty direct, actually. They said, and I'm quoting here, "We confirm that no tracking or tracking activity of any person or object is taking place on the Zepeto app."
Okay.
And they added, "We only use the microphone when users record videos using the in-app camera to capture the screen and video."
So a clear denial of tracking and explaining the only time the mic is used.
Precisely. A concise and unambiguous rebuttal to the core rumors.
It's really wild when you step back and look at it. How quickly something meant for fun, for creativity, can just morph into this source of genuine fear for so many people.
Yeah.
This whole Zepeto thing really shows how fragile perception is online, doesn't it? And how easily real worries about privacy can get twisted by, a typo or a sound your phone makes anyway.
Absolutely. And maybe the big lesson here is about pausing. Just taking a breath and doing a little digging when you see those really alarming claims online. So it makes you think, right, when the next scary story about an app or tech goes viral, how do you personally check it out? How do you verify that information before you hit share or start to panic?
Yeah, just think about it. A simple typo, a normal phone noise, igniting this huge wave of fear, changing how millions saw a legitimate app from a huge company. It's a powerful reminder of how fast online whispers can feel like solid reality. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the Zepeto mystery. As always, we encourage you to keep exploring, keep questioning. We'll see you next time.